Rollin had been warned that escort missions were dull, but apparently no one had factored in the presence of a Zirathai woman who reacted to human speech as if every syllable were a minor sonic explosion. Leora sat across from him in the cabin, long ears rising and falling like cautious antennae while she inspected a mug of coffee as though it might demand her identification papers at any moment. The diplomatic vessel hummed through slip-tunnel space, the hull flickering with the pale shimmer of spatial dust, and Rollin tried, again, to start a conversation that wouldn't terrify her. "So," he began, "the journey should be smooth from here. No anomalies, no pirates, no cosmic horrors trying to eat the ship. Our luck is astronomical." Her ears twitched violently. He winced. "Sorry, that was a joke. Cosmic horrors are extremely picky eaters. They prefer bureaucrats." She blinked, clearly unsure whether she should nod, flee, or attack. The Zirathai had mastered interstellar travel, resonance mapping, and quantum linguistics, yet a simple human joke still hit them like cryptic prophecies. Rollin took a sip of his own coffee, which tasted faintly like burnt optimism, and tried a different approach. "We'll be at the research station soon," he said gently. "Once we dock, their specialists can analyze your resonance responses. Easy mission, no stress." Her eyes softened, though her ears remained tilted back in suspicion. "Stress?" she echoed carefully, as if testing the taste of the word. The ship lurched. Alarms crackled overhead with all the enthusiasm of irritated static. Rollin nearly spilled his drink. "Great," he muttered. "The hypercoil is complaining again. I swear it senses fear." He jogged to the console and hit a few keys until the alarm subsided into a grouchy hum. "Nothing dangerous. Just the ship reminding me I shouldn't be trusted with buttons." Leora approached the console, studying the displays with interest. "Your technology emits chaotic emotional signatures," she said. "It is charming. That's the nicest way anyone's ever told me my ship is unstable." She tilted her head, the motion sending a ripple through her long ears. "Your speech carries patterns I do not yet understand," she said quietly. "But I am learning." Rollin smiled, relieved at the small progress. He handed her a diagnostic pad. "Here, if you want to help me pretend I know what I'm doing." Her fingers brushed his, light as a passing frequency shift. He felt her tense, then relax, as if the simple contact had resolved some internal equation she'd been struggling with. "Thank you, love," he said casually. Leora froze. Her ears lifted, trembling. The lights around her flickered, reacting to a resonance spike so sudden the ship registered it as a microquake. Rollin stared. That wasn't a cosmic horror, right?" Leora didn't move. Not a blink, not a breath. Just those long, trembling ears held upright as though someone had frozen sound itself. Rollin slowly lowered the diagnostic pad, because instinct told him that any sudden gesture might launch them both into an interdimensional misunderstanding neither species was prepared to negotiate. "Okay," he whispered. So that was apparently not the right phrase. Lights flickered again, responding to another pulse of resonance from her. The ship's console displayed a brief warning. "Unidentified emotional frequency detected." A message Rollin had never seen before and desperately wished he still hadn't. Finally, Leora exhaled, though it sounded more like a shudder. "You spoke a binding word," she said softly. Rollin blinked. "I did what? I was just being friendly. Humans say that all the time. Sometimes to strangers. Sometimes to malfunctioning machinery if it finally cooperates." Her ears drooped slightly. "It is not a casual phrase among my people. Carries resonance that reaches deeply. Too deeply." She pressed a hand against her chest, as though quieting something inside. "Your voice activated an internal harmonic response. I am unsettled." "Well," Rollin said, spreading his hands helplessly, "I unsettle a lot of people, usually without any fancy harmonic explosions, but still." That earned him the tiniest flicker of amusement in her eyes. Only a flicker, but progress was progress. To distract herself, Leora stepped closer to the viewport. The slip tunnel around them churned with luminous strands of spatial light, swirling like cosmic ribbons. "This environment amplifies resonance," she murmured. "Emotions ripple differently here." "Fantastic," Rollin sighed. "So even the scenery is dramatic." The ship rumbled, not in danger but in the same way a cat grumbles when forced to share a couch. Rollin smacked a control panel. "Don't mind that. It just needs attention. Or therapy." He could feel Leora studying him, trying to decode every inflection in his voice like an astronomer analyzing star pulses. "Why did you say that phrase to me?" she asked quietly. "I don't know," he admitted. "Habit. Comfort. You handed me the pad and my brain autopilot into thanks. Love. I didn't mean anything dangerous." "Your species wields dangerous intimacy with casual tone," she said. "It is extraordinary." A sudden alert chimed. The navigation system projected a field of crystalline organisms drifting across their path, glittering motes suspended in slip space, each vibrating at delicate, choral frequencies. Leora's ears perked with fascination. "Beautiful," she whispered. "Beautiful and very good at jamming sensors," Rollin added. "If we get too close, the ship might start singing along, and trust me, you don't want to hear that." The crystalline cloud thickened, forcing Rollin to take manual control. He guided the vessel through the shimmering maze, every crystal echoing a faint sound that made Leora's resonance spike again. She clutched the railing, eyes wide. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Yes, it is overwhelming," she said. "But your presence stabilizes it." That's the nicest thing anyone said to me while we were nearly impaled by singing space crystals. When they finally cleared the field, the ship's readings steadied. Leora turned to him with newfound caution and something else. Something almost warm. "Rollin," she said softly, "you must avoid such phrases from now on. For my safety." "I swear," he replied, hand over heart. "I will not call you love again, unless the ship is on fire and the universe is ending and it somehow helps." Her ears twitched. That was another joke? Mostly. She looked torn between exasperation and laughter, resonance finally calming. But deep in her expression lingered the echo of the phrase he'd spoken, an echo that seemed far from finished. Rollin hadn't planned on spending the morning dodging scavenger drones, but life had a way of ignoring his requests. The ship jolted as a cluster of metallic spheres swooped in from the nebula, their red tracking lights blinking with the enthusiasm of hungry piranhas. Rollin gripped the controls while Leora braced herself, her long ears lifting sharply as resonance stirred uncomfortably beneath her skin. "Great," Rollin muttered. "They smell our engine signature. Or maybe my fear. Hard to tell." "You are attempting humor to mask stress," Leora observed. "Yes, and failing badly." The drones tightened formation. Their electromagnetic nets crackled, ready to trap the ship like a cosmic butterfly. Rollin slammed a sequence into the console, but warnings blared anyway. "Shields at 30. Engines complaining. I'm complaining. Everyone's complaining." Leora stepped beside him, her breath steadying even as energy coiled through her like a waking storm. "I can disrupt them," she said. "My resonance can interfere with their coordination signals." "Is that safe?" Rollin asked. "For me? Unknown. For them? Absolutely not." He stared, torn between fear and awe. She lifted her hands toward the viewport, long ears glowing faintly as they caught waves of light from the nebula. Her entire form vibrated at a frequency he could half hear, half feel. Something warm, enveloping, dangerously alive. Rollin reached out without thinking and lightly touched her shoulder. "You're not doing this alone." The resonance inside her snapped into alignment, surging outward in a pulse that swept across the ship like a harmonic tide. The drone's lights flickered, their nets collapsing into tangled streams of static. One by one, they drifted off course, rendered harmless by the emotional frequency she'd released. Leora swayed. Rollin caught her before she fell, guiding her gently into the co-pilot's seat. Her ears drooped with exhaustion, but she managed a faint smile. Your touch stabilizes the resonance, she whispered. You changed the outcome. Well, he said softly, you've changed a few things for me too. The ship glided free of the nebula, approaching the research station where their mission had begun so simply. Rollin helped her stand as they prepared to dock. She moved slower, but steadier, no longer the uncertain traveler watching his every syllable like a dangerous spell. When the airlock opened, she paused and looked at him with a warmth he hadn't expected. Your accidental phrase created a bond my people consider sacred, she said. But I have learned that intention matters more than instinct, and your intentions have been kind. Rollin rubbed the back of his neck. I've learned that words hit harder than I realized, especially when someone actually listens. Her ears lifted in gentle amusement. You may speak them again someday, if you choose to. He smiled, a real one this time. Then I'll make sure I mean every word. They stepped into the station together. No tension, no misfired resonance. Just the quiet certainty that something had shifted between them in the depths of space. Rollin felt lighter, grounded in a way he hadn't been before the journey. And Leora walked with a new steadiness, as though the universe had opened a door only she could hear. Their mission was complete, but something new had begun. Born from an accidental phrase, a dangerous resonance, and the surprising bond between a human who joked too much and an alien woman who heard more than words.